Hey everyone, thanks for joining me and welcome to Tuck and Roll Interior with Foam. Yep, and though it's time consuming, it's pretty easy, so it makes it pretty fun and enjoyable. So stick around as I take this plain interior tub and get it ready for a custom 49 Ford I've been working on, and I'll show you how I do it all along the way. The kind of foam I'll be using today is Chiliwinks, and I got it at Hobby Lobby. You can get foam from other places. I know Mikkel's carries it. I mean, Michael's. Also, the Walmart does, but the Walmart stuff is a lot stiffer, so it does not hold shape as nice as the Silly Winks. And I've never tried the Mikkel's. I'm starting with the backrest of the front seat. So right now I'm just fitting the foam and making some marks on where the ends of the seat are. I'm using a clay tool for pressing my lines in here. You can buy the clay tool sets at Hobby Lobby. I find they work really nice for working with the foam. I'm just using a straight edge here, running over it 2 or 3 times, and it'll press your line right in. Now I'm doing a dividing line where the pleated part of the backrest will stop. And this mark is for where the headrest will wrap around or where the seat wraps around to the back. A little test fitting and she looks good. I found the center and I'm just making a mark here to start my first center line. Now, to space out the pleats, I'm putting a mark every 2 millimeters apart. This is for a tail dragger style build, so I want the interior to be a little extra flashy, and that's why I'm doing these so close together. Now I'm just pressing the line in for every mark, and this is making my pleats. And doing the same thing on the other side to finish the seat out. I came back and pressed my line in right where it connects to that halfway seam just to make sure it's nice and crisp. Now, for some extra detail, I'm taking my saw blade, and if you just press it down in all of these seams, that'll give you all your little stitch marks. I'm going to finish putting the rest of the stitch marks in this, and I'll get it glued on the backrest. All right, backrest is glued on. The back of the seat I'm going to be doing in black, and the easiest way to get the right size fit is just to lay the seat down, trace it with the X-Acto knife, then you got the size you need. After that, I put a seam up towards the top where it's going to be connecting to the white, and came back with the saw blade to put the stitching in. I did some test fitting, but I just skipped it for time. Now I'm moving on to glue. I find that gluing it in stages versus the whole piece works out a lot smoother, and you got a lot more control of how everything lays down. So that's what I'm doing here. You can really press and manipulate your seams until they look how you want them. After that, I made my ends to finish up the whole backrest. Then I did the exact same process for the seat. I didn't do the bottom ends on the seat because it's got to fit down in the interior tub. And by the time I get the door panels done, it's already going to be a tight fit. But you'll never see it anyways. Now the first thing I'm going to do on this interior tub is grind out those armrests because I want the door panels flat. Then I did the exact same process for the backrest of the back seat as I did on the front. And I did the entire rear package tray in solid pleats. When I do the seats, instead of doing all new markings, I just match it up and make my mark right with the pleats on the backrest, and it makes everything a lot cleaner and a lot smoother flowing. Next, I got going on my door panels. As you can see here, I have it cut down to shape, but I've left just a little bit extra on the top, so when I'm all done, I can roll it over the edge of the interior tub. Just like when I did the seats, I'm making my line of where I want the pleats to come up to. And then I just pressed a mark every 2 millimeters apart, just like the seats. Next, I started pressing in my pleats for every mark. Then I came back with the saw blade to add my stitching. After I was done making the main door panel, I made a lower kick panel in black for the bottom of the door. I glued the kick panel in first and then finished fitting the door panel in. Just like I did with the seats, I'm going to glue this in sections instead of doing the entire panel at once. The super glue with the foam sets up really fast, so you really don't have to hold it for very long and it'll lock itself down. The super glue I'm using is from good old Harbor Freight. I'm just coming back with the toothpick and doing some fine gluing so it doesn't make a mess out of everything. Then I carefully came back with my X-Acto blade and trimmed up my edges here. Doing the interiors in foam is time consuming, but it sure is fun when you can see it all start coming together. I did the exact same process for the other door panel, and now I'm using felt to lay down for carpet. And here's how it all turned out. One more detail you can add: if you want the piping where the bigger seams come together, you can take some fine wire and use it for the piping. This wire I normally get out of cutting up old cell phone chargers. Sometimes you can hit the jackpot and get some good colors out of there. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in seeing the 49 Ford that this interior is going into, then stay tuned. Until next time.